What up, everybody? Lately, Kendra has been, I want to say temperamental, but you know what? Screw it. Temperamental's too nice to a word. She's been straight BICTH. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. And here's another example of Kendra G being a BICTH. And this is just a girl talk, I believe is her name. Let's get into it.
That's who I'm talking to.
You talking to me?
Exactly. Sure am.
Oh, you got a nasty attitude. What's up
Oh
with
no,
you?
I'm reflecting you. You want to do the Kendrick cam or not?
I'm gonna do it.
And this
Hey
is
y'all,
supposed to be
welcome back to the Just a Girl Show. My name is Janine if you are new here. If you're new, of course, hit that subscribe button and make sure your notifications are on so you never miss an episode. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back to the channel. So y'all, I came across an episode of Kendra G. You know, she does her like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram dating show. And Kendra met her match. She met her match. And when I say met her match is women who are used to everyone around them tell them that they're great, they're the best thing ever, they do nothing wrong. Especially if you're talking about a black woman. They do nothing wrong, you look the best. They got every excuse for them as to make them feel good about themselves. And this woman, she wasn't going for it. Okay, she wasn't. And it showed me while I was watching the episode, on her YouTube channel, it showed me just how true it is that we cannot take feedback, constructive criticism. We can't face the reality. And if somebody's trying to tell us what the reality of it is, we will shut it all the way down and our whole mood will change. I said this before. I said, if you try to call your friend out for her behavior, she might cut you off. You may not be her friend anymore. Your mom, your sister. If you don't say what the person wants you to hear, what they want to hear, they will cut you off. And Kendra basically did that in so many ways. So let's get into the clip and let's come back and talk about it.
We all big up here. We're the leftovers, Kendra.
Who's the leftovers?
We're the leftovers, and I saw it. I read an article.
Who's the we? Who's the we?
They said that anybody above the age of 30 are leftovers.
Honey, I'm not leftover or nothing. I'm a specialist. So let me tell you something. I'm trying to be kind. Now I let the earlier comparison slide. If you want to talk about your life, that is your business. But stop acting like we one and the same. Now it's gonna sound cocky, but I'm gonna have to be cocky for a second.
Oh, I thought she was.
First off, Kendra G, you is one and the same. The only difference between you and this woman is your bank account. And that's it, and that's all. STFU and shut up.
I'm not talking about you.
You got the first one off. You ain't getting the second one off.
Who you talking to? Me?
Talking to you. Exactly you.
That.
Sugar, Cherry, New Jersey. I'm talking to you. That's who's on the phone, right?
It's Cherry Hill, baby.
Well, whatever. It's the girl on the screen. That's who I'm talking to.
Are you talking to me?
Exactly. Sure am.
Oh, you got a nasty attitude. What's up with you?
Oh, no, I'm reflecting you. You want to do the Kendrick cam or not?
I'm going to do it.
Okay, then do the Kendrick cam.
Now, let me give you some context of the video before we get into the next clip. When a woman came on the show, she had made a comment of basically to Kendra about like, Kendra, because Kendra was telling her like, girl, first impressions matter. You coming on the camera look like this, cursing and all this stuff. She said, well, Kendra, you act just like me. And Kendra was like, you know what, you're right. Like, I will pop off. I do have these ways. I am a ghetto girl, whatever. So she kind of took that. She was like, you're right. I can understand, but I'm telling you, this is the first time we ever met. I get that way when I have to. So she kind of was already kind of just telling Kendra, like, basically, don't try to tell me not to do it when you do it, and I see you doing it. So that is the tough part about trying to hold somebody accountable, holding them accountable about what they're doing, and I'm watching you do it frequently. It makes it hard for me to receive it from you, which is why we have to be very, very careful when we give advice to people if we're not living it based on the person. Not everybody is that way. Some people can get it from you, like, you know what, I'm doing wrong. Don't do what I do. Go the other way. Somebody might be like, cool, you're right. Other people are like, well, you ain't doing this. And that was that woman. She's like, well, you be cursing, you be doing this. And Kendra was like, at first I was a little bit like, but she took it. She was like, you know what, you're right. Whatever. But when she made that comment and put her at her level, baby, she ain't like that. And the reality of it is, she ain't lie. She didn't lie. Because the point of the matter was, I'm on your show trying to meet a man. I don't look like you. I don't have what you have. But we're both single. We're both not married. We both, so it was more so like, we are at an age which most women don't want to face the reality of.
Talk about it.
I don't have the same options. I have to be more mindful about what I'm doing because I'm in the danger zone. That's where I'm at. And I appreciated that woman being so honest about where she is, which you don't really see many women do, especially not on Kendra's show. You don't see them. So she can accept where she is, how old she is, her life, all those things. And I'm basically saying to you, like, girl, we both there. Like, and I can understand why Kendra would be like, excuse me, because it's like, who are you to tell me about myself when you on my show? Cool, I got that. But I do understand her trying to make conversation and also being realistic. Like, girl, like, we in this together. That was kind of like, she kind of came down on girlfriend level with her. And I think what, for me, what stood out was the fact that Kendra really took the approach of, like, how I look. Materialistic things, like just thinking that those are the things that I'm like, well, I'm nothing like you is. Not on the same level. Girl, don't play with me. And it's like, no, obviously tangible things, lifestyle wise, we're not. But in the eyes of a man, that stuff don't matter.
Yep.
That stuff don't matter. And that was what she was trying to say. But as I say all the time, we can't really have those conversations and convey that message to one another because we cannot accept what is. We can't. It's hard for us to do that. And I get it. When you get to a certain age, you got to kind of start to come face the reality that, damn, this is what it is. My options are smaller. It doesn't mean my options are non-existent, but they're much smaller, much more difficult. I don't have much room to play around as I did when I was younger. And it seems like that was the basis of that woman. And I think that Kendrick could have taken a different approach and tried to maybe encourage her and like be realistic, right? Like, yeah, you're right. It is tough out here. We are getting older, but to be like, I ain't nothing like you, girl. We, and it's like, girl, we just alike. We just alike. That was kind of, and again, I can understand why Kendra was snappy because I think she was caught off guard. But again, that woman had already kind of like, she already was telling Kendra about herself. She already was like, Kendra, like, girl, like, why would you have me on here? Like she was already like spicy. And that's not the typical guest. We have most women who are like bowing down to Kendra, telling her she's the best thing ever. And, or even just people in your life. And then you have somebody who's saying, girl, you in the same boat as me. You ain't got no man. You ain't got no husband. You 40 plus, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it just adds to the reality of why we are so behind as Black women. We're so behind because one another keep each other behind. One another lie to each other. One another tells each other whatever they want to hear. So if I'm telling my friend who's in her 30s who wants to be married, I'm telling her, girl, stop playing games. You want to be married, let's be realistic. You need to be more choosy. You need to not, you can't date like you did when you were 25. You're now 36, 37. You have to do things differently. And how do you say that to a friend and hope that she don't think that you're trying to comfort her or hate on her or make her feel like she's less than? It's like, no, I'm just saying, let's be realistic. And that's the thing that we don't know how to do well as Black women specifically. This stuff hurts. I get it. It doesn't feel good, I'm sure, to have to face the reality of like where you are and what your life is like, and desiring a husband or kids or whatever the case may be, and you're just looking around like, wow, time is flying, and it can get very, very scary. But again, the more that we lie to ourselves, the more that we try to make ourselves feel like nothing is wrong, there's nothing I need to do about this, then it obviously makes things harder, because the more you lie to yourself, it doesn't change anything. The more honest you are with yourself, I think things will change. You can start going different places, meeting different people, setting yourself up for different, things, because I'm now realistic about trying to date the men at my job ain't gonna work. They 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't gonna work for me. Trying to date here or do this or that, or I used to be able to date 3 or 4 men at a time and go out on multiple dates. Now I can't. I got a 2-man capacity at this point. I don't need to be clouded with too many people on my phone, whatever. But trying to think like, oh, I have all these options. I could do whatever I want, however I want. And if somebody says to you, sis, let's come on down to planet Earth and let's be strategic to find a good man just for you. Just for you. And again, some people can take it, some people can't. And this last clip shows you exactly who people are at the core when it comes to taking advice or criticism or feedback from another woman.
Store, type in Kendra G Singles and download the dating app.
But Kendra, can I ask you a question?
Nah, we good. All right. Next up. Let me tell y'all something. I'm only a gangster when I have to be, but let me tell you this. Respect is a requirement. Respect is a requirement. Now, a lot of y'all cousins, and I call y'all my cousins, but sometimes y'all get a little too comfortable. Like you blood cousins. And that's the only thing I don't like about this show, because y'all get a little too comfortable and being disrespectful. Now, I told y'all all the time, I'm sitting here, I'm a bougie ass girl. I live in Beverly Hills, California. I worked very hard for the life that I have. But I will cut your ass out at any given moment. Okay?
You say how rude and ignorant? That was so rude and ignorant. Cause you still feel some kind of way because she told you the truth. Cause if it didn't bother you, if you was so not like her, it would have been like, girl, please, whatever. But it really, really bothered her because that probably stung. You feel convicted. It is making you feel uncomfortable that you had to get her off of there. She asked you, can I ask one more question? And she probably was afraid she would ask her a question again about herself. She probably was, but she even said, like, why you being so mean? Why you being so nasty? Like, like when she said that too, it was like, girl, come on. Like, why you gotta do all that? She was trying, she was trying to figure out, like, come on. But again, she kind of already rubbed Kendra the wrong way. And again, it carried on. And that comment about her basically putting her on the same level, she ain't like that. As y'all can see, she did not like that.
No, she didn't.
But again, why do we have to be so rude and nasty if it don't bother us? If we are so unbothered, if there's no truth to it, it should have rolled off your back. She could have asked her question, whatever she wanted to ask, as long as it was appropriate and respectful. Ask the question. But I don't want to hear anything else because she might call my bluff. She might, cut deeper than she already has. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of what it means for someone when they don't want to hear the truth. Because every time you ask a question or you bring something up, it is making them feel more and more and more bad about their decisions, about where their life is. And you ain't doing it intentionally. You just asking questions. You just stating the obvious. So I just found it so tasteless and just so mean of Kendra to like hang up on her in that way, all because she told you about yourself. So then you mad, you got an attitude, and you like, don't play with me, I ain't this and I ain't that, and I work hard, and I live in Beverly Hills. Again, you living in Beverly Hills, nobody cares.
Facts.
Nobody cares.
We don't give
Nobody cares.
We don't give a damn.
We have to come to face the reality of where our life is as women is a reflection of our decisions. Our own decisions. And once we realize that, and once we come to that, come to that conclusion, things will change for us drastically. I truly believe that things will change drastically for us once we just come to realization, like, wow, yes, this is where I am, and this is where I'm going. Okay? But let me know in the comments what you guys think of this episode. Are you feeling how Kendra responded? What about the woman on the show? Let me know what are your thoughts. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the conversation.
And here's my thing I want to say about Kendra. I notice more and more Kendra G has been in her bitch mood lately. I don't know, is it because she ain't got no man now, or what the deal is? But the only thing I'm gonna say is, one of these days, Kendra is gonna F around and find out. See y'all later.